Welcome to the Janome Life YouTube channel. My name is Erin and I'm an educator here in Canada. Today we're talking about the new So Comfortable templates from Janome. These templates are just amazing for cutting shapes from your scraps or from yardage, so I'm super excited to tell you all about them. I'm just opening up the triangles here and they have a texture on one side and a grippy thickness on the other, so it perfectly grabs your fabric when you are wanting to position your templates onto your fabric. This set of templates cuts equilateral triangles in different sizes from 2.5 inches all the way to 4.5 inches. The sizes are engraved on top of the template, so you always know which one you have in your hand. So let's go ahead and get started. I have my templates here along with the rotary cutter and my cutting mat. And first I'm just going to flip through my fabric choices here. I have a few different pieces of fabric from my stash and also from my scrap bin. And I just really love being able to scrap bust with these templates. I'm sure you all have similar fabrics in your scrap buckets or in your stash. I'm using quilting cottons today, both 100% cotton regular quilting cottons and some batik cottons that matched my fabric. I have varying shades of fabric from lights to darks, and I really just wanted to use up some little pieces of fabric that were hanging around. I am cutting triangles for a new cover for my Janome Continental M7 sewing machine, and I thought these fabrics were just nice and bright and sunny and perfect to decorate in my sewing room with. So I'm going to cut from my scrap pieces first. When you're working with sewing templates, you do want to be aware of the size of your fabric and also of your straight edges. And of course, you can use your straight edges as something to line your template along with if you like. With this fabric, I can get a variety of different sizes, so just practicing where I want to cut my pieces and how I want to lay them out. You can also use these templates for fussy cutting. So I'm going to cut my largest shape first. As we can see, I've got the 3.5 inch triangle here laid out. So I'm just going to put light pressure on the template and make my first cut, running my rotary blade right along the edge of the template. The grip texture on the underside of the templates grip the fabric, so you can easily rotate your templates and your fabric like you were using a rotating cutting mat. So I have my first one cut out, so now I'm going to go back to my scrap of fabric and use the other sizes to cut out some more triangles, making the best use of my fabric. This way I can get lots of pieces cut out for my project with very little waste, which I really love with using these templates. So I'm just going to put some music on here for you to enjoy as we continue cutting our triangles. Now that I'm out of scrap pieces of fabric, I'm going to cut some strips from my yardage, and I'm going to cut my strips the same width as the template that I'm going to use to cut the triangles out of. In this case, I'm going to cut a strip that is 3.5 inches in width because I'm going to cut triangles using the 3.5 inch template. Once I have cut my 3.5 inch strips of fabric from my yardage, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to use these so comfortable cutting templates to cut equilateral triangles out of strips of fabric. So I have 2 layers of fabric here that are 3.5 inches wide, and so I just place the template on top of the fabric and then continue rotating it to finish cutting out my triangle pieces of fabric. I can use the edge of the template and line it right back up against the edge of where I previously cut, so it really makes cutting triangles out of strips that much easier. So my triangle pieces are all cut, and I'm going to start laying them out on the fabric that I'm going to use as backing. It's sort of like a little mini design wall. This process is going to take a little bit of time because sometimes you don't know how it's going to look until you start playing with your pieces of fabric, so there could be many different combinations of colors and layouts. So it's kind of fun to play with the little pieces and to figure out which way I want them to flow on the sewing machine cover.